So I want to give a little bit of my philosophy or my attitude, because you are all aware of all the information on wellness. I'm not here to be an information or gather information for you, because you can go to Google, type out B12, type out anything. I'm not here to give you the information, and besides, I cannot hold all those information either, right? So what is so different about who I am, what I am, is that I always ask why, okay? Because it's like, I'm not teaching you how to figure out whether you should have D3, but I'm here to help you think differently, okay? Because I have never really learned anything about finance in college, but somehow I have an investment banking business, and somehow I'll find out how to do it. So that has been my life. So I've learned that every time with my Harvard business background is that you look at a situation and look at the historical perspective, look at the political perspective, look at the sociological perspective. Then you will start finding why things happening the way it is, okay? So by using that thinking, which is very left brain, okay? But that's how you kind of figure out when people tell you something, where they come from, which perspective it is. So knowing that, I would always ask, I'll give you an example. We all now are against gluten, right? Because gluten we cannot digest well. We all seem to have, this is kind of a trend now. But in all fairness, we have to look at gluten and say, is it really that much of a villain? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, why is it become a villain? But if you go and take a look at it, 20,000 years ago, when they dig up the seed, and there's a Dr. David Williams, and he grind it up, and he make the bread, he was right. But then, these bread, the gluten today, he's sick. So why? Okay, because we were rushing to feed the world. So in the 60s, we decided that, okay, we gotta have better crop, better seed, more gluten, because we like the chewiness of it, and let's make it that way. So we made a decision from very well-meaning staff to help the starving people. So we are making the seed, we alter the seed to produce a lot of gluten, right? And we also get the seed to have more than one crop, 2 or 3 crops, so we can feed all the hunger. Isn't that a good intention? But you look at historically and then politically and marketing-wise, it becomes so cheap. So if you are traveling in the morning and you want breakfast, what do you see? Starbucks, muffin, coffee cake, sandwiches, everything is gluten. Because it's cheapest, easiest, quickest. And so we are inundated with 80% of gluten. Gluten is meant to be good, because the Chinese make take the gluten now and make protein. The monks eat it, so it's like, it is the protein of the wheat. It's really not a villain, but it becomes a villain. But it's because historically, politically, socially, it's happening. Does that make sense? So now, I'll give you a little, so I'm not helping you to find more information. I'm helping you to think differently, right? And I'll give you another example. My family, about my grandfather, my great-grandmother, I have a great-grandmother who's really cool. She left her husband because her husband was going to sell her as, to feed his opium habit, right? So he had to make a choice. She had to make a choice. Do I want to stay so that the son is more valuable than the woman? Or do I? So what is her choice? She just took my grandfather, ran away with a boundary, and stayed with a missionary, and then that's how my family told me stuff. Okay, so here's a woman, I figured out about 100, she died at 105 years old. Okay, yes. So here I have a history of a feminist, right? And but then because she became the head of the orphanage, because so they don't put basin over them to suffocate them. So here's my great-grandmother take care of those babies. Okay? And then my grandfather then become the apprentice of this surgeon who's a missionary. So my grandfather is the first royal British surgeon. Okay, so that's the story. And then I want to give you a little historical. Before that, the Chinese villagers died by the whole village, by plagues, okay? And here comes a missionary, and my grandfather is one of the students who go to the village and clean up by the village and save lives. Don't you think they're powerful? So they become very, very powerful. And my grandfather is become one of the wealthiest person, because whether you are a bandit, whether you are an official, they all come to see him. Because the Western has antibiotic, has antiseptic, so they become heroes. So if you look at it historically, Western medicine become very powerful this past 200 years. Right? So now everything is under their rule. So everything we do now is under their system. So that's historically, politically, socially, you see a perspective. My family prospered. My family, my grandfather is a doctor, all the uncles, aunt. I have an aunt my grandfather sent to Johns Hopkins, PhD, biochemistry. So she started a women's college, dean of women's college. So that's the family I came from, right? But I kind of understand the perspective of things, so that when people push things to you, you say, okay, I want to figure out what is best for me and not what politically convenience has pushed me. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the premise of how I make decisions. So is that I'm helping people to think, and I'm not giving you all the information. You have too much anyway. Okay? And so when I started out because I want to be an entrepreneur. I should be a doctor, but I don't like science. And as a child, I really like to get by. My name is Get By Me, That's my nickname, because I just hated for report that says, she have a lot more potential. I see my mother and my father, so the report is like, oh, May, you have a lot more potential. But I always pass, I always get by, But life is easier to get by, and I always figured out how to get by. Okay? So why do I need to be a doctor? I have to be like 15 years apprentice, So I like it. Fun life, easy life. So my dad even though my aunt, the PhD, sent a letter out and say, all our family girls take science. They all become doctors or PhDs, Here I am, I take home economics, domestic science. Because I get to bake bacon. I get to bake muffins. And she said, China don't even have that subject anymore, I go, oh, okay, so here I am. But then I always manage, I get by and I got to college, and then I always pass, and they can't say anything about it, see. So I like the fun part of it, but I'm always curious. I always ask questions. And the reason why I become in finance, because I went into and start in the financial planning and insurance, and there's 26-year-old telling me what to do. I was 36, he was 26, but I still don't like it. I found out that all the wealthy people send their kids to investment banking to learn all about finance, and that means all the elite control the money, right? So I say, I'm going to find out how to do that. So then I find out from the Bush Fellowship in 3M, in Minnesota, 3M. You all heard of 3M? Okay. So they have a fellowship. So I applied. So I even had them pay for me to go and to have a special program, Harvard Business School, and learn everything about finance. So that's how I figure things out. I didn't say, well, I should be be a financial planner or I should be an economist. It's like, okay, whatever. But my neighbors get by me, you see. So it shows that if you're curious, right, I don't just take whatever people throw information to me to take it the way it is. Okay? So I keep questioning. So I think in today's, we're going through a transition period, and and I look at San Miguel, I love here, but one of the things that worries a lot of people is we are all like a ticking time bomb. Why do I say that? It's like all my friends will be like, that we're healthy, we're doing fine, bing, they got cancer. Another friend, we're doing really fine, bing, we have Alzheimer's, right? So everybody kind of real healthy walking, but bing, we have a time bomb, right? So my job is, let's not let that happen. So I go backwards. Like my mother, she was very, very, very healthy until 91 years old, and she fell. And from that point on, she go downhill. Then she get a little scary. She's very scared of how to walk and everything. Okay, so I took care of her the last 4 years. She passed away a year ago, so I took care of her for 4 years. So I start kind of watching and figure out why is it that people get frail. Can we reverse it? Can we not have to fear that we will have that problem, right? So that's in a lot of people's mind. So I start thinking, okay, you can reverse it. Okay? In the book, I'm going to kind of talk. I'm not the kind of person that have a chart. You know, I'm kind of like an intuitive speaker. So I follow my 5 keys. So if I'm kind of get off in a tantrum, get me back. Ask questions. So I will answer you. But one of the things I find is that if your meridian chi is not floating well, okay, you will get off balance and you will get frail. So what should we do? So we should continually, okay, make sure that we are not off balance. Okay. Let's see. I want to just kind of do. Is it safe for you guys to stand up? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to demonstrate one point. Now, when we do yoga, right? Like this, right? With no problem, right? Everybody else. Right? Not everybody, right? Now, with the eyes open, your eyes can balance. Okay. I want you to close your eyes and do the same thing. Isn't it harder?
Yes.
Some people can even do 2 or 3 counts, 2 or 3 times. Okay, now you can sit down. The secret is when you close your eye, then your whole body has to focus to balance. And most people can only do 2 or 3 seconds. And there's 6 meridians go through your leg. So the key for you not to get frail as you get older is to be able to stand here like this for 60 seconds, count 60 times. Now you can't do it right away, and what I tell people is touch a little bit, you know, have something to hang on to, and then build it to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, to 40 seconds, and 50 seconds, 60 seconds. By doing that, you're forcing your blood to move all the way here and really force it to circulate. Because when you stand there, you'll feel like, that blood chi going. Because you'll feel it if you stand there long enough. So you're forcing this blood going to the foot there. Very little simple secret. It will help you not get frail.
Both legs.
Okay. Very simple secret. And then if you are by yourself, get your back against something when you do it. Okay? And what you do is you force your circulation, your blood flow, okay? Now when I first I was going through some illness after my mother died. It was too drastic a change. So I was kind of out of whack. So I tried this,